Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and I'm gonna apologize for how my voice sounds. I'm still kind of getting over being sick. So, okay, now that we have that out of the way. So today we're going to be taking a look at all of the bosses from this month's Overture of Evil, the new Thronebreaker difficulty. And I gotta say, I had fun with this event quest up until the Zemo boss, but we'll get into that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get this party started. So the first boss that we come across is Ghost, and she has Power Thief Miss. So whenever you miss, you're gonna gain, you're gonna power steal, or excuse me, she's gonna power steal 5% of your power. So you don't want to hit when she's phased. All of her special attacks are unblockable, which isn't that bad because she's got easy to dodge specials. She's stun immune. She's got redlining. So basically you're going to gain a power gain when you have more than 33% of your max power. And then you're going to be power drained back down to 0 if you have more than 75% of your power. Then she's also got encroaching stun. And this is what has a tendency to get me, which you'll see. Now I brought in Hulkling for this just mainly because A, you have the class advantage, and B, you can gain power pretty quickly with all of his buffs that he gets. And when that encroaching stun hits, even if you get hit, you're going to be able to regen some of that back, and you can also gain an indestructible buff. So that's what makes Hulkling pretty good for this fight. Now this is a 565, and I know a lot of you are running in here with rank 4s, but a 565 can do this content. It'll just take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. So really what you need to look out for here is that encroaching stun, and you see it gets me here. But again, I've got Hulkling and there's the indestructible, so it doesn't really matter. And down Ghost goes, easy peasy. So the next boss that we have is Modoc, and this guy is kind of a pain in the butt. So he's immune to poison, which is fine, whatever. He gains guaranteed crit hit on every 5th attack instead of every 7th. All of his hits are guaranteed critical hits because of bob and weave, unless you can intercept him, excuse me. And then he's got Be Like Water, which we've seen this node before. So whenever he's inflicted with a non-damaging debuff, he's gonna gain an unblockable. Now, I messed this fight up bad. I played really sloppily here, and I soloed him the time before that with Nick. I don't know what was going on. The trick with Modoc is he's got that, random auto block that he puts up. So that's what you kind of got to be aware of. Now, Nick can do this fight easy, but we just bring in Cable here to clean it up and just kind of play around this passive unblockable that he's got going on, because this fight can be a bit of a pain in the butt. You just got to be patient with it, and I don't have the patience to be patient with it. I'm going to be honest. I just ran out of patience with this fight. So, and Cable cleared the entire path leading up to him. So I just was like, you know what? We're just going to go with it and just play around that unblockable and land some heavies and watch him DJ down, because he's got a ton of health. These guys, even the mobs just on the path have a lot of health and a lot of hit points. So you got to kind of keep that in mind as you're going through this. But Cable makes short work of Modoc. Now, there are fights, as you can see in here, where I don't upload the entire fight, mainly because it's so long, and I don't want to have you guys sit through a 30-minute video of 6 bosses. No one wants to sit through that, right? So, but there are plenty of other options here for this. Now, Cable obviously would work out well here once you get him ramped up, or if you bring Cable in on this, you can just hit into that block and stun him. So now we're moving on to Diablo, and he's got Shake It Off. So skill attackers, they're going to purify 1 debuff when they dash backwards. This is important because he's going to inflict you with poison, throwback. So each time you dash back, you're going to purify that, and that's going to enhance the potency of your DOT, which makes Black Widow Deadly Origin so good for this, because every time you dash back, the potency of her shocks is going to increase. So resistance is futile. Whenever you would receive an effect you're immune to, he gains a non-stacking power gain buff. So you could bring, in a sense, a poison immune here. He's got contagion, so whenever he's struck or blocks an attack, he has a 30% chance to inflict you with a poison debuff, but just dash backwards, as you can see, and you can purify that. And then he's got debuff, synthesis, stun, and bleed. So whenever you apply a bleed debuff to the opponent, when he's suffering from a stun, both debuffs are consumed, and the defender's inflicted with a poison, which, you know, as with Diablo, you don't want to do that. But you just got to keep a watch on those poisons. Hopefully you get some good RNG and you don't get too many of them put on you. But Black Widow Deadly Origin is a great option for this fight. You just got to be wary of poisons, or bring in someone who's poison immune. Someone like Claire would obviously work out well if you put her in the Curse of Plague stage. She's just going to be gaining her clairvoyance charges like crazy. All right, so now we're moving on to Titania, and she's got Debilitate, Float like a Butterfly, Sting like a Bee. No, wait, that was Muhammad Ali. Anyway, so basically with Float like a Butterfly, her fury effects are indefinitely paused. So she's going to be hitting like a truck, Power Through Sickness. Each time she's inflicted with each time you're inflicted with any debuff, she gains a power gain passive, and that's kind of her shtick, right? Inflict you with debuffs. Roll with the punches. Each time received, she basically decreases your stun. Think of it like Limber. And she's got Scared Stiff. So you're rooted here. And I decided to bring in Hulkling here to kind of break through that root. I'm really sick of seeing root. I gotta be honest with you. It appeared so much in last month and this month that I'm over root. But Titania is not bad. You gotta watch out for her Haymaker, where she's indestructible, unblockable, and unstoppable. Oh, that's a lot of bulls. But her specials are easy to dodge. You just don't want to be rooted when she throws her Haymaker. It's really unpleasant. I play this pretty sloppily with Hulkling. That apparently was the name of the game today. I think I was just so over doing this because I felt like this month's Thronebreaker Event Quest was just a slogfest. You had super high health pools. You had things where they were supposed to benefit you, but they really didn't. I'm looking at you, Mystic Quest. But we'll get into that whenever we talk about Absorbing Man. But it just seemed like they didn't really think this thing through when they introduced Thronebreaker, because if you're going to have nodes that are supposed to benefit certain attackers, right? Whether they be a Mystic class or Avengers or New Mutants or something along those lines. All right, so now we're moving on to Zemo, and I hate this fight. I hate this fight so much. I cannot even begin to tell you how much I hate this fight. It's a stupid mechanic. Now let me tell you about these mechanics. So he's got Coolant Leak, which if you're not gonna bring in a robot, it doesn't matter. If you bring in a robot instead of being immune to the bleed, he's going to inflict you with a shock. Make a stand. So he's got indefinite protection, meaning you can only remove the protection when you knock him down with a heavy, but guess what? You can't parry his medium hits. Then he's got Repeat Offender Taunt, so landing the same basic attack in a row is going to put a taunt on him, which he's going to cleanse. And then if he cleanses so many, he's going to root you. And that is, I hate it. You get punished when you're rooted, and then if you break free of the root, he puts a bleed on you. So you're punished for that. It's just the design of this fight was just, to me, not well thought out. I didn't enjoy this fight at all. Omega's great for it because you can basically keep those bleeds on you and kind of keep regenning from it, keep your death field up, and get the spores going. Falcon actually is really good for this too, because when he's locked on, he shuts the node down. So, but this fight in general, I think they could have done a lot better. There's really no risk reward when it comes to this fight. It's basically just the slog fest and hope that Zemo is cooperative. He's got enhanced special too, which is fine. The first hit's unblockable, then you can parry or block the rest of it. But I just feel like this fight was asinine, in my opinion. And I don't usually say that, right? But this one was rage-inducing, and there's really not much you can do about it, right? So there we broke free of the root, and now we're inflicted with a perma-bleed. So this fight, I just really didn't enjoy it. I didn't mind a lot of the fights in general for this month. for the new Thronebreaker difficulty, but this boss fight was absolutely ridiculous, and I didn't like it. Now, I know a lot of people had good luck with Omega and Toad. Toad is another really good fight, or excuse me, really good option for this fight because you've got the paralytic poisons and all of that other fun jazz. So I basically came in here and would just, you know, let him wipe my team, and it was usually 1 or 2 revives to get him down. But this fight was infuriating. All right, so now we're moving on to Absorbing Man, and he's got empowered immunity. So whenever he would receive a debuff that he's immune to, he generates power, sting like a bee. If you're far away when you throw a special, you're going to gain an indefinite cruelty, which would make Tigra really good for this, right? Because when she's far away, her specials are unblockable. He's got Unyielding Assault, so he gains a regen effect, making Void and other champions like Anti-Venom great for this. He's more likely to use the same special attack with Recurring Nightmare. Me personally, I like to keep him at his special 2 because it worked better when it came to Void and his debuffs and kind of reversing that healing. And also, it doesn't snap to you the same way that his special 1 does. So kind of keep that in mind. But Absorbing Man is really easy with Void, Anti-Venom as well. He can be a bit tricky with his unblockable specials, but they're pretty easy to dodge except for that special 1. It kind of, it's almost like a double dash back. So you don't want to dash back too far because it'll snap to you and then you'll be out of room. So just keep that in mind. Play him. He's not a hard champ. If you've got a Void, this is a rank 3 Void. I don't have any rank 4 champions as of yet. So if I can do this, you guys can do this as well. So overall, my thoughts on the new Thronebreaker difficulty is this. I think it's a good concept. It needs some work. Hopefully we don't see any more fights like this Absorbing Man fight because I absolutely despise that. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the Thronebreaker difficulty? Who did you think was the toughest boss? Who were your options, especially for Baron Zemo, as I know quite a few people are having some issues with him. Did you think the fights were too long? What did you think of that Mystic quest where you couldn't remove the protection? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully. Not mediocre. Katy!